What's going on, Turf Talk? It's me, Richard Donahue, and I'm here with.
Landon Suziak.
Today, we have a special guest on. Our guest today has over 7,000 total yards. He has over 30 touchdowns in the NFL. He was the 1998 NFL receptions leader, winner of the Paul Warfield Trophy in '72. He's the Fiesta Bowl MVP, all-purpose yards record holder at Hawkins High. He holds the state of Ohio record for the longest interception return. He has several Penn State single season and career receiving records. He holds the PSU record for stolen bases in a single game, was drafted to the MLB 2 years before he was drafted to the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, we have O.J. McDuffie.
Damn, man. I love that intro, man.
I
didn't realize some of that stuff, man.
Yeah. I think it's a really impressive resume, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? Growing up, loving sports and playing all different types of sports, man, I'd hope that as much time as I spent on the football field, on the diamond, on the baseball field, I'd hope that I'd be able to get to the level that I got to in football. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what was your favorite sport growing up?
Well, my favorite sport growing up was and still is basketball. But sitting at 5'9.5", 5'10", I realized that I better pick another favorite sport, and that was football for sure.
I didn't expect that. Basketball?
Yeah, oh man. Every football player thinks they can play basketball. They really do, man. But all of us are, height challenged, so it becomes a little bit of a, different career path we have to choose, and that's what I decided. But basketball is so much fun. It's nonstop, great exercise. Football I love because of the contact, but yeah, that's why basketball is my favorite.
Were you a hooper back in the day?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, we all did. I had full court basketball court in my old house before I sold my house and downsized. I'm too old to be having a big ass house, big yard, and things like that. Excuse my French, by the way, boys.
No, it's all good. We allow swearing on the episode.
All right, okay, all right.
We had Richard Webb on, and he was
not Big Webb was. Big Webb was cussing. Oh,
yeah.
that's surprising. That's surprising. But yeah, it's like basketball is I think most of our favorite sports. It's a lot of fun, and we all hoop through. I mean, I started hooping at 6 years old until I ended high school, and that was it was some of the funnest days of my life.
Yeah. We actually 1v1 did basketball a couple months ago for a YouTube video. It didn't end very well for Landon.
What happened?
I can't shoot at all, and I'm going to use this excuse. I was coming off a broken leg. It was like my first time doing like anything in a while. So that's my excuse on why.
So you had a broken leg and you can't shoot.
Yeah, it was a.
Why the hell were you on the basketball court then, man?
Well, we had a wheel for 1v1s to kind of expand our content.
I got
and
you.
It landed on basketball, so
I love it.
I didn't have a choice.
It was so funny. We were so bad. We lowered the rim to like 7 foot, and we were dunking.
Nice.
We're not. I saw that you actually did track when you were in high school.
I did. I ran a little bit, but mostly I did jumps. I high jumped and long jumped in high school. And funny story about that was, I played baseball, of course, in high school, and I'd play a doubleheader on a Saturday. And between games, I'd go to the track and get my jumps in so I could qualify for states, and I'd go back and play the second game of the doubleheader. So track actually is the only sport. All the sports I played, track was the only sport I won a state championship in. So I really, really love what happened for me in track.
I love track. This year I decided to dual sport with lacrosse, and it was probably the best decision I've ever done. I know what you're saying. I would go back from the meet to the practice so I could play in the game tomorrow to go back to the meet. It's the best. I high jumped, but I wasn't really gifted at it. I was better at throwing and running.
Yeah.
What was your best high jump you ever had?
6'8".
6'8"?
Yes.
Wow. You could have went to college for high jump.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Those guys are well over 7 feet, but I probably could have gotten there. Hopefully gotten there. But yeah, 6'8" is my highest ever.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, Landon, you're gonna do indoor track, right?
Yeah, I'll do indoor track.
Yeah, are you high jumping, Landon? What's up, man? You going high jump?
Probably not.
It's hard on your shins. Did that ever was that ever a problem for you, or?
No.
Never had shins once?
No, not at all, man. I mean, I did such limited amount of track, from playing baseball that I mean, I didn't have the wear and tear that most track athletes would have, and certain track athlete injuries that they probably occurred for sure.
Yeah. Did you enjoy like dual sporting? Was it like very fun for you?
You know what? I would encourage any and everybody to play as many sports as possible. You know, I love the fact that you do lacrosse and track. There is such a thing as you guys know as burnout. You know, I live down here in South Florida. Everything, these guys play every sport all year round, and it's like at some point they get tired of it, and that's the worst thing that can happen to you. A change of pace, change of scenery, change of everything, using completely different muscles when you're doing, the events and things. That's important. It makes you a better, more well-rounded athlete, and I think that's super important. As long as you handle the books though as well. That's a tough, time management and all the stuff you have to do. But if you can do both or more sports and handle school and social life, that's important.
Yeah, I agree.
So I got a baseball question for you. What position did you play in baseball?
In high school, I pitched and I played shortstop. And then when I got to Penn State, I played center field. So I mean, I just love being on the diamond for the most part. So wherever they needed me for the most part is where I went. I played some outfield doubleheaders. It depends on what's going on in the games, but mostly I played shortstop and pitched, and then I go out in the outfield every once in a while.
I love that stat though, that you still hold the Penn State record for stolen bases in a single game. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a fun one for me too, because I had some other records, but they play so many more games now. It's easy to break some of those other records, But I just enjoy getting on base, and then once I was on, like when I was in Little League, my grandfather always used to say, if I get on, I'll be on third base in a couple pitches, and that was my motto. I'm still in second, I'm still in third. I'm finding a way to get to third base and give our guys a chance to drive me home, and so. When I was at Penn State, I had the green light the whole time. I went when I want. I stole whenever I wanted to. That's what the coach said. Whenever you want to go, just go. I didn't have to get a signal or anything like that. But that's hell. One of those days I had, I was like, I can take this catcher. Really, it's only the catcher, and you got a pitcher with a slow delivery. That's a double whammy for a team that I'm playing against.
Yeah. Did you ever think to go pro in baseball? I know you got drafted by, I think it was the California Angels, but have you ever thought of actually signing?
Yeah, you know what? They came to visit me at Penn State, and they told me they had drafted me. I had no idea I got drafted, and but I was more wanting to see how much money I could make at the sport. Mm-hmm. And when they told me how much my signing bonus was, or how little my signing bonus was, I said, you know what? I'm going to concentrate on football because I realized that I need to make money for my family, and football was my best avenue at that point.
Yeah, and it definitely worked out because from round 41 to round 1 in the NFL.
Right. Tell me about it, man. I mean, I was either 1 or 2 in the NFL, but once I solidified round 1, that was important for me and the family.
Yeah.
So, as around the draft, for the NFL, were there any teams that you thought you were going to go to that weren't the Dolphins, or was it did you always know you were going to the Dolphins?
That's a great question. I had no idea I was going to the Dolphins. There were a lot of other teams that were talking about drafting me. You look at all these guys on TV that talk about, these draft gurus, and they were telling me I was going to San Diego or Buffalo or all these different places. For me, I wanted to go close to home, which is Cleveland, or maybe even Cincinnati. I want to go, somewhere close to Penn State, Eagles or Pittsburgh Steelers, or I wanted to go warm. I got warm, which is the Miami Dolphins select me number 25, and Dan Marino. Imagine that. I got one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. I'm a wide receiver, and I'm going to sunny South Florida. So it was a blessing. But no, I had no idea. Miami held it. I had no idea they had any interest in me.
Really?
Oh,
what's that?
Really? You had no interest, or you had no idea?
I had no idea. I was hoping all 32 teams had an interest in me, or 30 at that point. But I'm glad that the Miami Dolphins had a bigger interest in me. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
I remember Richmond said that the Dolphins were super interested in him, and he really thought he was going to the Dolphins. Yeah, it was that and another team. I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, well, Richmond's a top pick though. I went 25th. I think Richmond's a top 10 guy or whatever.
I think he was.
You know
6th,
what I mean?
Right?
So, he's way up there.
Yeah.
So every team would want Richmond. If they needed a Richmond, they'd have gotten to Richmond because he was that damn good out of Texas A&M. So
He's a
you know,
dog.
I'm sure all those guys were reaching out to him and hoping he fell to them in the draft for sure.
Did you think you were like a first round pick like earlier in your like draft process, or did it really just surprise you? Because he said he thought he was like a second or third until his Senior Bowl. So like, was it around the same thing or?
Yeah, Richmond's full of crap, man. Don't listen to him, man. Richmond is that good. Was always that good. Was solidified as he's so humble though. You guys talk to him. He's such a humble, big giant man. He would never sit here and pound his own chest about how good he was or is, you know. But he's a surefire Hall of Famer. But he was also a bona fide superstar coming out of college. And so, for me, it was just getting into the first round. That's the reason I stayed back at Penn State one more year, is so that I could get back into the first round, which is where back then where most of the good money was for the most part. But also, you know, you work your butt off all your life to get into the NFL. You should strive to be a first rounder.
Yeah. Did you ever like wish that it was your like the current day NFL money? Do you ever wish that was back in the day?
Oh man, don't we all? don't we all? But tell you, it's crazy because I joke about it. My mom had me. I was born way too early. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys feel that way. But I look back at the guys that played back in the 70s. Their contracts were nowhere close compared to what I made. So I said I need to be quiet because the money these guys are making now is like incredible. But the guys before me, they didn't make anything. So it just works out that way, that the game has gotten that popular. Everybody loves to watch it. TV, commercial ads, everything that leads fantasy football, all grew the game of football, which grew the salaries for these guys, and I'm happy for them.
Didn't Jefferson just sign like a $140 million deal?
Yeah.
I didn't look into it. I saw he signed one.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Isn't it like it's like 4 years, right?
4 year, 140, 110 guaranteed. Yeah, and that's all we care about.
Too.
Yeah, Waddle did a great job too, man, getting his extension and and getting the $75 million guaranteed. I mean, really all we care about is guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it, NFL really is just 5-year deals, really 5 1-year contracts.
Yeah.
And so you can get cut at any time. They don't have to pay you the rest of the money. But when you put that G at the end of one number, the 75 million G, that guarantee, that's all we care about anymore now.
Yeah.
So if you were to be on the current day Miami Dolphins, what do you think your statistics would look like?
Well, I probably couldn't make this team. This team is super fast, and I wasn't super fast. But if I were to get on that team and they gave me the opportunity, I'd probably average 100 yards a year. 100 grabs a year. Hopefully 1,100, grabs a year. But I had to take advantage of every opportunity they gave me, because when you got Tyreek and Jalen and now OBJ, I'll take 50 catches in that system just to get on the field with those guys. Would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is you can't even forget about the running backs. You got Ricky Wright, Achane, Mostert. Mostert just broke the whole
Dolphin record. Yep.
So
touchdowns in the season. Yeah,
that's huge. He broke Ricky Williams' record, which I didn't think was going to be broken for a while.
Yeah, he broke the rushing touchdown record from Ricky, and he also broke the all-time season record from Mark Clayton. And so he did it all. He took home all the hardware last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I asked Richmond about this, but I wanted to get your opinion on it too. What was it like to get drafted and get to be able to play with the most talented quarterback ever, Dan Marino?
Yeah, it was great. It really was, man. Draft day was incredible for me, like we talked about before. I was just excited to get into the NFL, but then you get an opportunity to go and you play for Dan Marino or play with Dan Marino. As a wide receiver, it was great. Now, Richmond, I don't know if he told you, Richmond was drafted to protect Dan Marino.
Yeah.
His job was to protect Dan Marino against guys like Bruce Smith and all these other great defensive ends that they were playing against, and Richmond did a hell of a job. He really did. So, it was all about, when you get a chance, and he knew he was going there for Dan Marino. I knew I was going there to play with Dan Marino. You can't ask for anything more when you get to the NFL, when you're playing, for and with a great quarterback.
Oh, yeah. And I think especially in that 90s, like that team could have went any year. It just sucks that they ended up not being able to get the big one, but Was there any years that like you were really sure you guys were going to the bowl?
Yeah, I think that next year, like 92 was the year before I got there. They went to the AFC Championship game. They lost to Buffalo. In 93, we returned pretty much the same roster, same defense, same offense. And I really thought that team was just stacked, man. I thought we had a chance to do big things, and we should have. The Super Bowl was coming through Miami, and our team, hell, man, that was a rough one that we lost right there. That we should have gotten it done that year.
The Buffalo Blues.
It hurts me. It hurts me. I mean, we have the 2 rings in the 70s, but when me and him talk, they've had us for the last like a while. They've had us. They've had our number because we had them back in the day. So
yes, exactly right. Damn Bills, man. I hate them. Hate them.
Come on now.
Is that your squad?
Yeah.
Oh hell, man.
We live in Buffalo. That's why it's like the dynamic is like so ideal. Miami and Buffalo.
We went to Bills Dolphins game together. 2 years ago now?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, you guys probably beat us 2 years ago.
Oh,
You've been beating us.
It was close. I went to both games, and so did he. But the one that we went together, it was a tie 27-27, and Tyler Bass kicked the game.
Tyler Bass got the game winner in the snow.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Sweet.
Yeah, surprised you guys didn't bring a snowblower out there and knock all the snow out of the way and stuff. You know?
Fans throwing snowballs at and Reed.
Terrible.
It's so bad.
Look at Lenny. He's happy about that. Look at it. He said that's what we do. That's what we do.
I mean, the Bills Mafia. You can't stop them. So I guess this is a perfect time for me to ask you, what was that Bills Dolphins rivalry like for you?
Yeah, it was great, man. The AFC East was so much fun when I played in. And the Bills were definitely that team. Obviously, went to 4 Super Bowls that decade when I was playing for the Dolphins. Lost them all, but it happens that way. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun playing. I mean, think about it. You got all the great quarterbacks that came out here, the Jim Kellys. Look at all Hall of Famers that played for the Bills the years I played, the Thurman Thomases, the Andre Reeds. The whole defense, I think, is in the Hall of Fame. It seems like they were a spectacular team, man. And you better strap up your helmet real tight when you're playing against the Buffalo Bills, because it's going to be a long night, long afternoon, long day playing against those guys, man. It was fun. I think the AFC East at that point was one of the best divisions in football. Don't forget, we also had the Colts back then too. And Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison were in that division. The Jets in that division. The Patriots were just starting to go into that Tom Brady era. So it was a tough division for us to play in. But playing against them Bills, man, you knew it was going to be a long day.
Did you know that out of the 5 teams in the AFC East, the Jets have the least amount of division titles?
Yeah, of course. They stink. They still stink. And they're going to
talk
continue
all
to
this
stink.
back on Twitter.
Yeah, they can't help it, man. What else they got? They're New Yorkers. They're New Yorkers. They got to talk some trash.
Are they going to do anything with Rodgers, though?
I hope not.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
How do you feel about Tua? I
love Tua. I really do. I think Tua gets a lot of heat. He's polarizing for some reason. He's a smart guy. He's a really good guy. The team loves him. The locker room loves him. Obviously, Mike McDaniel loves him. And I think that this third year with him and Mike McDaniel is going to be an extraordinary year for Tua. And I know he's excited about it. I know we're excited about it down here in Miami. But I think that's the whole key to everything, man. Same head coach, same system, and same quarterback. I look for a lot of really, really big things to happen for Tua. He's just going to get better. So think about it. It's really his 3rd year in this system. I know he's going into his 5th year of football, but system after system after system. Now he's got one he's unbelievably that's familiar with, and a head coach that believes in him, players that believe in him. I think it's going to be a great year for Tua, and I'm excited for it. Because you know what? As Tua goes, is how every team goes. The Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons. That position is the most important position in sports. So I think Tua is about to embrace this new system a little bit more, and I think we're going to be in great shape.
Yeah. Since year one, I've always been a Tua guy. I really love Tua. He's my favorite. Honestly, I want to say favorite, but him and Marino are just right there for me.
Wait a minute. Hold up. So how old are you?
I'm 16.
So when did you see Marino play?
I've never seen him. I watch his highlights all the time. I watch his highlights all the time. He's I mean, you can't not watch it.
I know.
It's must watch TV.
Yeah, his arm was ridiculous. It really, I mean,
the fastest release ever.
Yeah, it was great, man. Nobody got to him, especially with Richmond Webb on his blind side. But that release was so quick that it was hard to get to him as well, man. But I'm with you. I'm so with you on that.
Do you think we could win a bowl with Tua?
Yes, I do. Because you know what? Look. You talk about Dan Marino, right? How great he was. How many Super Bowls we win?
0.
Exactly. So it comes down to a lot of other guys around you doing their job and getting it done. A great defense, special teams, the wideouts, the run game up front. There's so much when it comes to football that has to work out for you in order to win a Super Bowl. So with Tua, he's got the ability as a quarterback to do it, but couldn't everybody around him help him get to that point?
Yeah.
Hopefully the Bills can win one before you.
Nope. Doubt it.
Not happening.
I doubt it, bro. It's over, man. It's over.
Give us one. We just want one. That's all we want.
You're young. You got plenty of time, man. Relax.
Trust. This is the year. This is the year.
Nah.
Believe. Come on.
Well,
no.
Do you feel better about your team, Landon? You feel better about the Bills now without Stephon Diggs and those guys? You feel better about the team right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it on previous episodes that we've had. I honestly, this is the most confident I've been in a Bills team, I think, in the past, 3-4 years. I don't know what it is. It's just the new faces, and I really loved our draft. Keon Coleman, you can't not like Keon. I mean, I'm so excited I'm excited to see how the wide receiver room works out. I mean, there's so much talent. It's locked. Like Chase Claypool, he's got a lot of talent. It's just where he had a lot of character issues. And then MVS, 6'4", is super fast. The talent's there. It's just I really hope we can unlock that talent and have a really good receiving room. Because I'm not worried about the defense at all. Everyone on all these social media platforms, these ESPN people, all talking about how the Bills have no defense. I don't know where they're getting that from. I mean,
who's playing safety for you this year?
I want Taylor Rapp and Cole Bishop.
Okay.
I really like Cole Bishop. I think he's a really smart kid. He was probably one of my favorite safety prospects out of them all. I think he's going to flourish in McDermott's defense. And the Bills are known for we can make safeties. So
yeah. That's why you let Jordan go. Yeah. I got you. Okay. We'll see. We're going to test them. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun series. We'll see.
Hey, even when we had Micah and Jordan, Reek and Waddle were getting us in these most recent games.
Yeah, so
it's hard to stop Reek and Waddle. That's for sure.
Yeah, if we can get one stop on offense against your offense, then I think we can run around a little bit more on our offense. So we'll see. It's always great, no matter what. It's great.
Yeah.
As a Dolphins receiver, this is a good question for you. I think you have the most experience. Where do you rank this Dolphins wide receiver core stacked up against the NFL?
Hell, I'm biased for one, as you know. But for two, how do you not put us in the top 3 when it comes to wide receivers? I would put us, of course, as a biased guy, number 1, when you've got Waddle, Hill, and OBJ. That's a formidable trio in the NFL. And Tyreek is as old as he is, 31, 32 years old. He still runs around like a 22-year-old. Waddle is still figuring it out, man. And look what he's done the first 3 years in the league. Of course, OBJ has been a steady force in this league for a long time and has done some big things for the Rams, did some real good things for Baltimore. So he still has some great football in him. I'd be afraid of a defense. And think about that. And you mentioned it earlier about if you got a defense that is stacked up against our pass game, look at how good our running backs are. You got to pick your poison in that situation. I think if Coach McDaniel sticks to the run and then takes his shots, because we'll have some shots because these guys can all run. If we go a balanced offense, it'd be a tough team to stop, in my opinion. So we just can't be pass happy. And you talked about the Tua thing. I don't want to put everything on Tua. I want to make sure everybody else is able to go out there and contribute and help out because we got enough weapons on offense to make us a hell of an offense.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, like that Miami offense is pretty.
Yeah,
killer.
you talking about your Buffalo defense. What are they gonna do against that?
I am, but I'll say, well, my Buffalo defense will strap down that offense, and I know it.
Okay, all right, I like that. I like your confidence.
Incoming sweep. Matt Milano, he's coming back.
Okay, good. Yeah, will he be the same player?
That's what I keep saying. He's saying it's just a broken leg.
I don't know. Who knows? You never know.
Well, even if he's not, we still got Terrell Bernard. So
yeah, okay.
All right.
We got dogs on defense, and McDermott knows how to run a defense. So
he better.
I think this year we got to change the narrative. Yeah. It's a big year.
I mean, as long as we got Josh at the helm, it don't matter what happens.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
So, if OJ, is there any position like that's not receiver? What would like be a position that you would like want to play if you weren't a receiver?
Oh, safety. Safety. Yeah, I played safety in high school. I love the contact. I love interceptions, and I love hitting. So kind of a combination of two. You know, I mean, if you need me in a deep third, I'll be good there. Or if you want to bring me down the box so I can make a tackle, I'll be good there, man. But I would love to play safety. But again, like I talked about my basketball days, I don't have a safety build, so I probably have to play nickel corner or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I always, I was always a bigger kid, but I always thought safety was a great spot. I was always trying to be a red zone safety, and my coaches never let me. They said I was too big for it. But,
where'd they put you then? Where'd they play you?
So right now I'm playing running back and DN.
Okay.
I played a little like edge and like linebacker in previous years, but I'm mainly an edge rusher. That's like my favorite position is edge.
Nice.
Hey, he was a guard too.
I was a guard. I was a guard.
He was an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I got my respect for my big boys.
I know that's right.
You got it. It's all from them. Most important position.
It is. The trenches are super important. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. What about you, Lanny? What position you play?
I'm a guard and defensive end, or I play interior line. Whatever coach puts me at.
Right. There you go.
He's flexible. He's gonna have. I'm expecting a big year out of Landon this year. A lot of different spots, but he's gonna flourish.
All right.
Got it. I embrace that. I'll play wherever you want to play me.
It's a great team player right there.
Yeah.
Great team player right there.
Was there a lot of pressure when you got drafted in the first round?
Always pressure when you get drafted, period. It really starts first at home. You know what I mean? Taking care of your family. That's the first pressure. And it's pressure I that drove me when I was in college, when I was in high school, trying to get to the NFL. But when you get to the league, though, I mean, the fans are ruthless, man.
Yeah.
I mean, these cities, when you get somebody in the first round, they expect you to be a superstar right away. And thank goodness for me, I didn't have to play wide receiver right away. We had some great wide receivers, but I was able to play. I returned kicks. And so I returned a couple kickoffs for touchdowns, a couple punts for touchdown. And so the fans they gave me a hall pass for my first year until I got a chance to play wide receiver. But it's always pressure, man. And you feel it right away. Day one, the veterans, there's pressure from the veterans right away. They want you to go out there and get snacks and breakfast and lunch and pay for dinners, So the pressure is real when it comes to being a first-round pick. That's for sure.
Yeah. Did you ever really decide that okay, return is a great spot for me? Because I saw it, I didn't even know this, and I'm a big Miami Dolphins fan. You had 2,000 career return yards and 2 touchdowns. So did you ever realize this is a position that I really enjoy?
Well, you know what? I did it all my life, and I definitely enjoy the opportunity to make a splash. You see it, man. Whenever somebody returns a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown, it changes everything. Somebody takes a punt return for 20, 30 yards, it changes everything. Field position is everything. So anytime I can flip the field or take one to the house, that was important for my team, especially sometimes when your team is struggling a little bit. If your defense goes out there and gets a 3 and out and you take a punt back for a touchdown, you know how demoralizing that is to the opposing team?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what you're thinking about as a guy. And no matter what, I want to have the ball in my hands as much as possible, like I did in high school, like I did in college. In the pros, you get opportunities like that. You have to take advantage of them for sure.
I mean, returns are electric.
Yeah.
I mean, our last game, week 18 against the Bills, we had
Hardy.
Goodey broke his leg, and Hardy took it all the way back. It really flipped the tide.
It was a huge play.
I started jumping around my house. I was so happy when that happened.
I bet you were. I bet you were.
That was not my favorite week, but I mean, fair though, if we did beat them, the odds of us beating them 2 times in a row is a lot harder. Like we would have had to face them again, and that never.
In our place though, it's been different. You know what I mean? It's always different at home. You know, we should have we blew it ourselves at the end of that year. You know, obviously the Tennessee loss. You know, then we beat Dallas, and then we lose to both Baltimore and Buffalo. We blew it at the end of the season to be in great position for most of that stuff to come through our place. You know, come through Miami, where our team is geared up to play in Miami. So shame on us, and we got to make sure we correct that this year and make sure all those Buffalo fans can get out of that nasty ass weather up there and come down to sunny South Florida and 75-degree weather and still get beat.
Hey, I mean, it's not that bad down here.
Please, not right now.
No, but I mean,
where you at? You living in Buffalo?
I do, yeah.
We both do.
That's
I got season tickets.
Oh, why don't you go to Toronto, man? Toronto's better, right?
No, but the Steelers game, we just they had to push it back because of a snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
But just having
they did that for you guys though. Why would they let us get out of minus 30-degree wind chill though? They let you guys get out of a snowstorm, you know what I mean, which is football weather, but minus 30 degrees, and they made us play. It's interesting, right?
Why don't they play I saw it's a part of the game.
What's that?
We saw the weather firsthand. You were not. It was more of a dry, the fans getting their concern than the players playing.
Oh, for you guys,
you could not. It was really hard to drive in that.
Well, do you play at an empty stadium then? That's what happens. It happens that way. It happened in COVID. Why couldn't they do it for?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, valid point.
Yeah, that's to your advantage. I get it, man. I get it. The NFL loves the Buffalo Bills. We understand that. It's okay.
All right. Is there any what is the favorite your favorite game of your career and your least favorite game of your career?
Oh man, favorite game has got to be we played against the Saints on a Sunday afternoon, I think. I don't know. But I know that in that game, Dan Marino had 398 touchdown passes going in. And he told us before that game started, when he gets his second touchdown pass, he needs that football. So I knew that he was going to have at least 2 touchdown passes in that game. So for me, it was great because I caught 399, 400, and 401 in that game. And that became my favorite game because I was able to share that moment with Marino, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the man.
I always saw when I was watching your highlights, getting really excited for this interview. I was really excited. My whole family was actually. I was I just kept seeing 81 scoring. So why did you pick 81?
That's a great question. I didn't pick it. Back then, you see all these guys now, they can wear pretty much any number they want to wear. But back when I played, wide receivers had to wear an 80 number. It had to be in the 80s, right? And so when I got to Miami, there was only one 80 number left, and it was 81. And so that's how I got number 81. Most of the guys that come in as wide receivers also, they wear team numbers during training camp and all the other stuff. And then once the season starts, they had to jump into an 80 number somehow, some way. For me, I was lucky enough that right away they gave me an 80 number, and it was 81. I wanted 84 because I wore 24 in college. But 84 was taken by a veteran tight end, and so I settled for 81. And hell, I love it now. Crazy. Yeah.
We don't get enough people wearing their numbers in the 80s anymore.
I know.
It's awesome. I like the more classic jerseys.
Yeah. I like the 80s, the 80 just wearing a wide receiver wearing number 80, Danny I think it was Danny Amendola.
Amendola, yeah.
Yeah, that's just clean. I like it, but now it's all. The other numbers are clean, but I'd rather see a receiver wearing the number 80 than 19.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to tell you the hardest part about all that is now the defensive guys can wear different numbers like that, single-digit numbers. And, and so this hard, for a wide receiver, you're sitting there. Back in the day when I played, all the linebackers wore 50 numbers, wore some 50-something. It was one of the 50s. The defensive linemen wore 90s or 70s numbers. So when you're looking at defenses, you're trying to count guys and who's a linebacker, who's a DB. With these different numbers like that, you don't even know. You got to really be in the classroom knowing that number 8 is a linebacker and number 17 is a DB, because that determines your hot breaks. My hot on this. If he comes as my quarterback, do I break my route off? So it's become a lot more difficult to recognize defenses with these different numbers.
Yeah. So going into this, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I know a lot of older players say the new game is soft. Like, a lot of players actually said that. Like, even Chase Baker, and he only retired in 2012, and he said the new game is soft. How do you feel about, like, the player safety movement that's currently happening?
It had to happen, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really had to happen. I mean, soft, they can say that, but I mean, it's soft for them now, or soft for us guys now, because we got our bells rung a lot. But look what it's done to a lot of guys post-football. The game is so much bigger, stronger, and faster than it's ever been. The collisions that are happening now are as more dangerous than they've ever been. So for guys that play to say it's soft, it's definitely softer than what we played, but it's still not a soft game. It's still a very physical game. It's a fast game. You got 300-pounders running 4.7. Imagine that collision with somebody, God, that's not, I mean, that's not a good collision for anybody for the rest of their lives. And all these guys are family men. We'd like to see everybody walk away from the game semi-healthy. So soft, no. Softer than it was, absolutely.
Yeah, and I agree, because I mean, these guys, I seen it from Tua, and I watched it live, like with the Damar Hamlin. It's scary, and you don't want to see someone get their life taken away because of a game. Like,
right.
it's life comes first. So I completely agree.
Right, life, and for these guys, livelihood. The game's only, you're only in the league for 3 or 4 years. It's not a career. Most of the guys that play NFL football are going to have to figure out their lives afterwards, and they've got a family life, and they're going to have a career other than football, making money. So it's like, for guys that that put their lives on the line for that short period of time. I mean, God bless them, man. That's what we did, man, and a lot of us paid the price. A lot of us paid the price before. A lot of us pay the price now. But it was worth it for most of us. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, player safety. I mean, for the league, it's everything, because like that, like even with like that can cause a lot of lawsuits and stuff like that. So.
Well, you know what's happening, Lennon, man. It's like the biggest thing that's happening now is kids aren't playing football anymore because of the injuries, because of the concussions, because of all that stuff. And they need to figure out a way to get kids and parents feeling that the game is safe enough at an early age so these kids can play, through high school, into college, and back in the pro game. So it starts really early with parents and how they feel about the game. We want to make sure that, they see it as a safe sport, and that the leagues are doing everything possible to protect their kids.
Yeah. I got a question about like including all high school, college, and the NFL. What was like the best experience pregame, like in the stadium?
Yeah, man. I mean, all those levels it's so different. It's so much fun. High school pregame was so much fun. We played Saturday afternoon games, so every Saturday morning at home we played Saturday afternoon games. So we'd have one of the senior parents, like, make us all breakfast, make the whole team breakfast. These houses were incredible. Going to Hawken High School, I mean, these people had some megaplexes. I mean, it was unbelievable. They could feed that many people in one place. Not in my house. We could probably put about 10 in my house, but it was a different story. But, the camaraderie, breakfast mornings, getting in the cars, going to the stadium, thinking about what we're going to do and who we're playing against. It was so much fun, man. I lost 0 home games in high school when I played, and that was because we had such camaraderie with the team that, we were that down. We only lost 3 games my whole high school career in 3 years. And none of them were champion. We lost the championship, semifinal. Well, it's reversed. Semifinal, championship. But that's a whole different ball game when it comes to pregame and how we got prepped to go to a football game. In college at Penn State, I mean, we played in front of so many people. It was like amazing. And what we did was we stayed at a hotel the night before, and then the best pregame part about us is we came in there on school buses, all blue school buses, and see hundreds, 100,000 people out there cheering, whistling, getting you so pumped to go out there and play a game. And it was just incredible, man. That right there, you can and in life, it's harder. You can't replicate that. Not me. I can never find any way to go out there and be able to do something like that. So that was probably the best part of pregame there. For the NFL, I mean, it was business as usual all the time. A home game, we stay at a hotel. You got to be there 2 hours for the game. You get dressed, you go over your game plan, you go out there and you play. Away game, you travel out the day before. You meet, get up, get dressed, be out there 2 hours before the game, get on a plane and come home. It was kind of business as usual. But, the college and the high school game, those were way more fun than the pro games. The fun part of the pro games, honestly, was paydays. That was the fun part of those games, so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, fans, they make it all happen, man. I mean, like, with, like, how you're talking college, I mean, I feel like, well, I don't know, I'm not in college, so I couldn't tell, but I feel like just having, like, that many fans just there cheering you on, it has to be, like, one of the coolest experiences you can have.
Yeah, the best part about fans and fandom, man, is that, you guys are smart kids, and there's a lot going on and a lot of divisiveness in this country, with no matter what it is, religion, politics, things like that. But when it comes to football, everybody in that stands usually wearing your colors. They're on the same team, and it is all about that. It is all about going out there and putting on the show. Athletes are entertainers, man. If they can bring a group of people together for the right reasons and the right calls, man, it's a lot of fun. And so the fans are what make us. If it weren't for the fans, there'd be no football, there'd be no baseball, there'd be no basketball. The fact that we make it entertaining, the fact that, we go out there and we try to show off some skills that a lot of people do not have. It's impressive, man. And I love, there's nothing like having the fans out there, and there's nothing like a bunch of noise when you're playing football.
Yeah. Football is it's its own sport. It's like clear cut, different than every sport, and it's my favorite. It has so much energy. No other sport's like that.
No, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
I got my last question here, and I saved this one to the last because I feel like I know your answer is going to be, how do you feel about Mike McDaniel?
Oh, man. I love Coach Mike.
Yeah.
You guys have to love him too, man, because I know you guys are up on culture and fashion and things like that. I mean, you imagine a cool young coach like that, man, that's got the latest shoes. I think his shoe closet is bigger than most players on the team.
Yeah.
His swag is unbelievable, smart as hell, but he gets it, man. He's so current with what the players love and enjoy, and he's getting the most out of it, man. So Coach Mike McDaniel is he's a blessing, bro, and I hope we have him for the next 20 years.
Yeah, I love Mike McDaniel. When we signed him, I was so hyped because it was from the Shanahan coaching tree, and I mean, he's exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. Yep. And I think year 3, Rich, it's going to be impressive. We talked about that. Him and Tua, and you better watch out, Len. Here we come for you.
Yeah.
Him and Tua and year 3, it's going to be impressive stuff. I promise you that.
We embrace it. I mean,
I know you do.
It's like, even as a Bills fan, you can't hate McDaniel. I feel the same way about like Tua. Like, Tua fans, they make me super mad on Twitter, but
he's such a
like
good guy.
Tua is just like what. He's such a likable guy. It's hard to like not like him. And the same with McDaniels. He's just like my dad. He loves him. Like everyone. Like you can ask almost any Bills fan around. I mean, they can't hate Mike McDaniel just because
you guys keep beating us, though. That's probably why.
Well, yeah, we only got like one loss to him, but
right.
No, it's just he's a likable guy. I mean, when we're not playing him.
Yeah. You're right.
Great.
He's fun to be around, man. He's a great guy.
Orange Cookie says paying Tua and Tyreek is going to be a nightmare. I really don't even think so because realistically, the way the contracts are stacked up, like Tua's probably going to be making $13 million his first year, and it depends on the guaranteed money. And also Tyreek, he's not going to take a bad contract for the team. He said his number one goal is to win. I think he just wants more guaranteed and he wants an extension. So how does Tyreek
get paid?
Yeah, well, once Justin Jefferson got paid and Waller got paid, of course, all these other guys look for new contracts. Here's the thing about it. We've got some guys in that front office with Chris Greer and Brandon Shore that are gurus at making it work somehow, some way. You know, we let Christian Wilkins go, we let Robert Hunt go because those contracts, you know, we couldn't afford to get the guys back that we wanted. I think we're close to 19 million under the salary cap right now after the January 1st release of Xavier Howard. And so these guys are smart about paying the guys that are important positions, the most important positions in football right now. Wide receivers, quarterbacks, tackles, you know, rush ins and corner. All these guys are the important positions. They'll get paid now in the game, but they'll have to squeeze somewhere else to make these guys happy. But they'll make it work. I promise you that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think Greer is a master at what he does. I have no idea how he does it. And actually, I project him to win GM of the Year this year because the moves that he has made this offseason has really pushed us into, in my opinion, contention.
Yeah, we've had some big splashes in the offseason, but we got to make sure those big splashes take us to the Super Bowl. That's all that matters. Yep.
I mean, GMs are just like I don't know how GMs do it, dude. I mean, it's just it's everywhere. I mean,
you have to be so smart.
Yeah,
I know. Like
you have to have a great team, Len. You have to have a great team because you can't see everything. You know, you have to have a great team. You have to have the college guys. You have to have the pro scout guys. You have to have, you know, somebody that's right next to you. There's so much to watch, and there's so many meetings when it comes to players. You can find a player anywhere. I mean, Buffalo might have somebody that's, you know, a budding star. I doubt it, but, you know, that area might have a good player that's coming out that, you know, these guys will start watching well in advance. You know, they don't start when these guys get to the senior year in college. They start well in advance and seeing how they're growing in the game. It's impressive what they go through, and you know, the decisions they have to make and the heat they have to take for guys that don't make it. That's the craziest part ever.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those jobs that are like on the line at all times.
Right, man. It's a tough job, man. But if you hit on half your draft picks, if you hit on a third of your draft picks, you're doing well because everybody's who knows what's going to happen with them.
Yeah. Well, I had an amazing time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys, man. You guys are awesome, man. Appreciate you having me on, and I look forward to doing it again.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% sure we will definitely have you on again.
Yeah, hit me up that Buffalo week, and we'll go at it again. All right.
All right.
Mark it down.
Get ready, guys. It's gonna be awesome. My dad, when I told him I was having you on, he was born in '76. He's been a Dolphins fan his whole life. He got so excited. He was like, "No way, you're having OJ McDuffie."
That's pretty awesome, man. Big shout out to your pops, man. No doubt about it, man. Fins up.
Yeah, fins up, Landon. All right. Well, I'm Richard Dadio, and I'm here with
Landon Kostuziak.
We're signing out, boys. Like the video and subscribe. Peace.